From Senegal to Sugar Hill, trace the bloodline. 100 years of brilliance through the color line. They thought the shackles broke but kept the mental chain. Langston penned the future while they legislated pain. Harlem's ballrooms birthed the cosmos in mahogany, while lynching trees still decorated southern botany. Josephine, Wakers, pearls, and Garvey's Navy ships. Du Bois debating destiny with scholarship on his lips. The Renaissance was a renaissance of West resistance, fam. Every trumpet blast from Armstrong was a battering ram. They gave us minstrel shows, we gave them Sora Neal. Turned depression into art, made the fabricated real. Cotton Club excluded us from tables that we set. Performed the Deanest Nightly, never free from the deck. But Bessie Smith could shatter glass, shatter cash, shatter lies. Every note she sang contained a revolution in the sky. Build temples from the rubble, make cathedrals from the struggle. Turn the margins to the center, now they study what we scribble. We build temples from the rubble, every generation double the inheritance of genius that they try to keep us from. Fast forward through the decades, watch the pattern reassemble. Malcolm's speeches, Martin's marches, every voice begins to tremble to the earth until the structure shows its fractures. FBI was tracking every coon with every pastor, every actor. 40 acres never came but 40 minutes on a stage. To reconvene your consciousness and channelize the rage. From bebop to hip-hop, the fool lines mathematical. Each generation weaponized the beautiful, the radical. They gave us Reagan out as crack and mass incarceration. We gave them Public Enemy and blueprints for liberation. The Harlem Renaissance never ended, just evolved its form. Every freestyle cipher is a brainstorm, he's a storm. Where the children of the talented, the tenth that was prophesied, inherit the fire that the water couldn't wash aside. They tried to write us out the narrative. We offered all on text, 100 years of proof, and that we're destined where was next. Temples from the rubble, make cathedrals from the struggle. Turn the largest to the center, now they study what we scribble. We built temples from the rubble, every generation double the inheritance of genius that they tried to keep us from.
All right, this is, and you are Under the Groove. Welcome everybody to Under the Groove Podcast. I was having some technical difficulties, so excuse that. You know what I mean? I think I got it under control right here, right now. It looks like I'm kind of buffering in this get down. I don't know. It might be some type of interference or whatnot. But anyway, man, here I am, and there you are. Let's get into it. My day been kind of mellow, man. Real, I ain't gonna say slow, but slow motion is better than no motion at all. Let's always keep that in perspective. But yeah, here I am, man. Donald Davis is back. What it do, man? You say, what up, bro? What up with you, bro? Good seeing this. Get out, man. And a happy, enjoyable Friday. Peace and prosperity to you and yours. Good to see you up in here, loved one. That goes as well for you, B60M. I see you, man. Front and center, man. The first, man. At the head of the line, man. At the head of the line. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Trust and know that, man. Early bird catches the worm, as the saying goes. But, it's all good, man. I'm trying to understand. It looks like I'm getting a little buffering kind of get down right here. Everything is set up correctly. I don't know what that could be. Wait a minute. Let me look at something while I'm doing this. All right. That's up and running. I don't know why that's a problem. My screens, it seemed to be a problem. And just so you know, man, Spectrum is shit, man. That crap, man. I just saw some shit last week where I think Verizon is supposed to buy Spectrum, but wait a minute, some don't say. Yeah, I can hear this shit, man. It don't sound right either. Hold on. Damn. I don't know what the fuck that is. I don't know. Let me get that thing. I can hear that thing whining and shit. Okay. All right. So let me know if everything is everything, man. I'm trying to figure out what the problem is, what the deal is. It don't sound about right to me. That's for damn sure. Yeah, something ain't right. All right. I don't know if I like this, man. Some don't sound right to me. I don't want the solo layout. I want that layout. Shift 3 to see if that changes to get out. Not at all. All right, man. Let's see what happens, man. All right. Something seems to be up, but I ain't gonna let it worry me. Shit. Oh, tight. Let me grab some. All right. So yeah, like I say, man, my day, man, it's been slow, but slow motion is better than no motion at all. Good to see everybody up in here. All right, real spit. Uh, Donald Davis said, "Man, I'm chilling, bro. Happy Friday to you and yours, bro. Likewise, right back to you, bro. Again, good to see you back up in here. Been a minute, you know. And I understand how shit go, man. Shit go this way for a reason, and that don't look right to me for whatever reason. But I guess it's okay. I guess it's okay. Yeah, we ain't gonna worry about it. Yeah. So going through the shit that goes on, I came across some things, man. I don't know, man, if we talk about this enough or if I'm getting through, if y'all on point in terms of what's happening in the world. But this shit is crazy. And for every day that goes by, that passes us by, man, something new is in that day that is not for us, not necessarily good to it, not good to and for us, but more detrimental to us than we know. I was just checking out this what they call these data centers, man. And I don't know if you guys caught hold of this or got wind of it, but supposedly the data centers have dried up the Rio Grande or partially. It's depleted the water level or the water table of the Rio Grande River. Like, make that make sense, man. But if that's the case, then that goes to show just how much this stuff will consume in terms of natural resources, just so that they could have faster speeds or whatever the case may be. Now, couple that with the fact that the thing siphons off like, man, metric tons of water, right? The noise pollution. I was just watching something about the noise pollution of this thing. It's 12:30 at night. I think they were in, I don't know, it was somewhere in Texas or Illinois. And that thing was loud as hell. And I'm wondering, the people in that vicinity, in that area, how are they sleeping through all this noise? They're not, they can't, So a lot is going on with that, man. Just recently in another state, I think it was Wisconsin or that could have been Illinois or Texas, one of them. Wherever it was, no, it was Chicago. It was snowing. All right. They did not pass a bill to allow the data centers to be constructed there. Now, couple that with the fact that most of these tech giants who need these data centers to push their AI systems are saying pretty much they're not paying for nothing, that the taxpayer are going to pay for all their shit. And, so what? Not only that, but they don't need human beings for nothing. In fact, and look this up. Don't just take my word for it. In fact, humans are in the way, And I was saying the other night about a lot of these geek type individuals, man, you got to understand a lot of these guys carry a lot of baggage, right? They've been through the ringer, man. They've been bullied all their lives. And for a lot of them, I think that this is their moment. They're thinking, I can get them all back now. This is revenge 101. And they don't even know it's coming because how design is, they're going to do away, man, with a lot of human beings. They're saying a lot of human beings aren't needed. And so therefore they need to be eliminated. Trust and know, man, if somebody's talking like that to me, I'm going to trust what they're saying. I'm going to take them at face value and word value. I'm not going to disregard him and think, oh, this dude just tripping. He weird or he's crazy. No, this dude meant what he said, and that's our problem, man. In America, we don't pay attention to shit. We don't really believe or trust most of what's said. And a lot of it is said in our faces. A lot of it is in print right there in our faces. And the people who do this shit, they tend to think that a lot of us won't read it. We're not looking to read. We're looking to be told everything. So yeah, they'll print it out and it's in black and white. And at the same time, they'll give you a narrative that's totally different from what's in black and white. What's in black and white is, for the most part, the truth, for the most part. What they saying, though, what is being said to us from these same individuals is something totally different. They're painting this rosy picture, where it's all good and it's not. These individuals are building these bunkers. They're building these massive bunkers, and nobody seems to want to know why. I mean, is it their right? I don't know. Is it? But you would tend to think that the individuals like this who want to run the world, who wants the world to pay for everything that they do and have an issue with those in the world, hey man, shit, there should be some way for us to, investigate. Okay, what the fuck y'all got going on? What's in them bunkers? Who's in them? Who is in those bunkers? I don't know, man. A lot of this shit is crazy. So I went and got some clips relating to all that relates to every bit of this, man. I don't know, you guys can take it for face value, with a grain of salt or not trust it at all. Write it off as conspiracy theorism or whatever, man. But, a lot of shit is happening and a lot of us are missing this shit. We're missing it and it's right in our face. Also, just so you guys know, I'm preparing to, make a trip tomorrow, man. Me and the wife, we're about to head out, man, hit that highway. And so I have to prepare because I want to leave early in the morning. So that requires a lot of sleep. To drive is about 5, maybe 6 hours to get to where we need to be. So I'm saying that to say we may not even do 2 hours a day. But I did want to come in and touch bases with the people, let you all know that you're on my thoughts, you're in my mind. People always are, so hit you with that. There that is. And let's move on. So I got these clips. Boom. And this first clip, man, see these young brothers. Now I've said this, we've said this before. All our young brothers ain't stupid and dumb. Some are ignorant. You see it in the behavior. Some are ignorant, all right. But for the majority of them, man, and these brothers, they cracked open, they ready to go, man, for the right reasons, to serve the purpose for the right causes, and sisters, they are up, man, and they're armed. And I don't mean armed like that, I mean armed. They are armed in here, mentally as well as spiritually. They are aware, they're conscious, man. And we don't give them enough credit. True that, right? But most of the content I see nowadays, and I don't even want to claim it or label it content. I want to call it consciousness. Consciousness I see coming from that generation of individuals that most of us don't respect or give a lot of credence and credit to. Hey man, they are more prepared than a lot of us. So that being said, I got some stuff, man, and most of what I want to present, man, are by our younger kings and queens, man, and they talking truth to power. All right, just let me put it to you like that. So let me drop this first one. Again, for everybody that's coming in, this is Under the Groove Podcast. Let's focus on the focus. You're more than welcome to be here, man. This is our get down. This is the end of, that 5-day span that we get down from Monday to Friday. Peace and prosperity, each and every one of you. Let's focus on the focus, man. Power is in the people. That being said, let's tap in. Let's bring this thing to fruition. All right. Check this out. This makes sense to me.
Unlawfully occupying us and we ain't doing shit. As soon as they turn their back, you'll catch Ray, shoot the shit out of Ray, and jump in the car and get arrested by a stranger with a badge and a pistol. I don't get it. Like it's kind of mind-boggling to me how we got a whole generation of gangsters that only kill black people. That shit ain't odd to y'all. Like, what the fuck? Gangs weren't supposed to kill black people at first. Gangs were supposed to be the first response units to slave catchers, aka police officers. Y'all smell what I'm stepping in? At this point, bro, being in the gang.
Y'all smell what he's stepping in. This the real shit.
Gang is probably the lamest shit you can do with your time and energy in 2026.
Tell the truth.
Like, if you in a gang in 2026, especially in cities like Memphis, Chicago, DC, because we get occupied by the National Guard, military, and police officers and shit now. Gangs were supposed to be made to fight back against unlawful occupation, which is what the fuck they doing. They are unlawfully occupying us and we ain't doing shit. As soon as they turn their back, you'll catch Ray, shoot the shit out of Ray, and jump in the car and get arrested by a stranger with a badge and a pistol. I don't get it. Like, it's kind of mind-boggling to me.
Come on, man. And this is from the mouth of our youth. This is coming from our youth, man. Now, if this ain't what we've talked about on many occasions, we've discussed this, man, on many occasions. What's wrong with our brothers and sisters to where in 2026, this is what they're doing with everything that's going on in the world and the way in the direction this is going on is going to hit us like a ton of bricks. It's going to hit us and land on us harder than anyone else. And yet, this is what our young brothers and sisters are involved in. Why? Why is this? Is it the weed? Is it the drink? Is it the syrup? Is it the drugs? You know, is it social media? Is it the OGs not playing their part, fulfilling the obligation to lead these young brothers and sisters in the right direction? What is it? Is it in the air? Is it in the water? Is it in the food? But something ain't right about it. You have to acknowledge that. You have to acknowledge that, man. You know. But I salute that young brother. I salute that young brother, and obviously he's nowhere near California. You know, because he made a valid point. The National Guard is not out here pushing the line. Secret Service is not out here pushing the line. FBI, ATF, DEA are not out here. ICE, Border Patrol is not out here pushing the line. I mean, they're here. They're remnants of them, no doubt, right? But they're not walking the streets pushing a line. That's what they're doing, you know, back east, DC, Maryland, you know, Philly. You know, this is where it's going. Chicago, this is where it's going on. Detroit. But, you know, be rest assured if that's, you know, you want to be assured of something, you know, rest in the fact that that will trickle this way. It's going to land here too, you know, and, you know, a lot of us are tending to think that there won't be another president. You know, the way AI is taking effect and those who run it, no, they need Trump to stay exactly where he is so that this thing that they're doing will continue. But then again, I don't think that you need Trump for that because a lot of this, you know, it's all the same. You just different sides of the same coin. Democrats will sell us out just as quick as Republicans. These are facts. That's a fact. It's proven. All right. Not only do we have these AI tech companies running roughshod over the laws and the people, we have Israeli lobbies doing the same thing, orchestrating, determining what laws will be passed. You know, who comes first, Israel or America? You know, Democrats are allowing this. The Cory Bookers, the Hakeem Jeffries, even you know, a lot of you guys is darlings, Jasmine Crockett, you know, James Clyburn, Jim Clyburn, you know, the list goes on and on and on and on. A lot of them are selling us out for money. You know, in their minds, they're going to be okay. They don't have nothing to worry about when the shit hits the fan. When they step in it and we begin to smell that shit, they won't smell it because they'll be somewhere in their minds, they'll be somewhere safe with them people, not us. All right. So let me drop some more shit, man, right quick. Cause like I said, I got a few things lined up. Right quick. All right, B60, yeah, loud and clear on my end. Appreciate that, bro, already, bro. Hannibal, man, he say salute right back to you, Hannibal. Appreciate seeing you up in this Get Down. This is Under the Groove Podcast, and this is where we get down with the Get Down, only because we're going to focus on the focus, man. And the focus today is, hey, man, the system is against us. The system is against us, man, and we're continuing to allow the system to work against us. We're participating in our own demise. That's the basis of the premise of what I want to talk about. All right. But anyway, salute right back to you, Hannibal. He said, man, they putting profits over the environment, man. Paper over people, y'all. See, the people need the environment, and they're getting paper by destroying and destructing the environment. A lot of us don't realize that we need the environment to exist. See, a lot of us so caught up, man, in that, hey, man, I can just go to fast food joint and get some food. I'm going to one of these supermarkets, get some food, not realizing, man, the shit is poison, one, and then two, if we allow ourselves to think like that, then okay, we're allowing ourselves to be dependent on somebody or organizations, corporations, super rich people to take care of us. That's a mistake. That is a mistake. I just saw something today, man, where Russia has kicked out each and every so-called Zionist from Russia, as well as members of the Rothschild family. All those super rich people that run the world, Russia didn't kick them all out. There are other countries in the West who are supposedly doing the same. Spain's supposed to be following suit. Countries are starting to figure out what's going on. But we're here in the United States, man, and we're stuck on stupid. We've had information. There are factual that there's documented shit where them people, the black hat people, have said out in the open, blacks are our greatest threat. Not Iranians, not Palestinians, not Lebanese, not Iraqis, not Syrians. Blacks. Who do we see involved in our politics? Who are making the most of the decisions or passing these laws? What corporation heads represent the black hat people? All of them. And again, we have our people selling us out to them, that should come as no surprise to any of us, man. Any of us know any better. We understand the analogy between the house and the field, right? And they've always went to the house to help them get done in terms of getting the field in line with whatever it is that's coming down the pipes at us. All right. But I appreciate you in here, Hannibal. Salute right back to you. Like I said, bro, noise and light pollution. B1, what it do, Chris? The Elons and the Bezos. Elon Musk just did some shit, man, today that concern our brothers and sisters in Mississippi. They just illegally built a data center in Mississippi and installed these generators the size of buses that kick out nothing but pollution. All right. Carcinogenic, pollutants in these black communities. Elon's already said he don't like black people. He don't even want them to work for him. And yet black people drive the Tesla like it's just, hey, it's a fad. It's the thing to do. See, this is how naive we are, how ignorant we are in terms of the things we do. What we jump on to, the coattails we ride, you know what I mean? So he's down south. Check it out if you don't trust what I'm saying. He's down south, got this data center just went up illegally. See, this is the mindset of these rich people. And don't know laws apply to them. They got Trump in the house, man. They got Trump. What are you going to do to him? Trump ain't going to let it happen, right? But they created this situation down there where the generators are not only kicking out pollutants, it's also leaving remnants of pollutants in the water that the residents have to drink. I mean, full-fledged, man, poisoning. That's what's jumping off, man, if you ask me. But yeah, Bezos, don't get me started. Bezos started with Amazon. Now Bezos, man, is in the tech get down, man, as well as biotechnology. Him and Peter Thiel, man, all the OpenAI, Planeteer, man. Hey, man, they got a cold system jumping off, man. And all these super billionaires, man, are making big money off our demise. Let me go on, man, because I don't want to get caught up too long, man. Yeah. Propaganda Hannibal says, man. Daniel Rios said, man, you have to put OG Cuse and OG Joe, so you can interview two OGs together. Yeah, man, I gotta contact Joe. As a matter of fact, I hadn't talked to Joe in about a month. Cuse, I talked to Cuse last month, real briefly. So yeah, if that's something we can get together, man, because you want to get their perspective, right? On a lot of issues. And because Cuse is out here and he ain't no dummy, far from it, he gonna be able to tell you, I ain't gotta say shit, right? Let them two OGs go at it and lace us, right? Joe's incarcerated, Q is out here, man. You can't have no better combination. You can't have a better combination, man, of two respected originals. All right. So great idea, man. And I'm going to take you up on that. I'll tap in with Joe and Cuse, man, by tonight or tomorrow, no later than Sunday, because I have something I do have to do it. I don't know what time I'm going to have, but yeah, that's something I'll take care of no later than Sunday. We can get Joe on here with Cuse. Yeah, that's going to be power, man. That's going to be power. Appreciate that, Daniel Rios. Appreciate you up in here as well. Ambassador Williams says, great news. Hey, man, thank you for acknowledging that, man. I appreciate you up in here. But see, the news got to come from the people. And we got to find a way, man, to get to the news that matters. And we listen to what I call it state-run media now. Fox, ABC, CBS, NBC, CNN, that's all state. Trump runs all that. And Trump advocates, MAGA, that's all them, man. So, we'd be fools to just listen to them, man. But yes, most of it is propaganda. And not only that, but to get to the news that matters to us, we got to go outside of that get out, man. So I appreciate you recognizing, man, just that little tidbit I'm throwing out there as being some good information. Appreciate you. Daniel Rio said, man, together we stand, divided we fall. It's not just not brown, black, or white, bro. It's the right people in each other doesn't mean about race, bro. So let me clarify something right quick. And this is what I advocate. And I advocate this for a reason. And respectfully, I say this. All of us are messed up as a result of this system that has been in power for hundreds of years. We've all been subjected to all kind of oppression, denigration, murder, indoctrination, conditioning, the whole nine. We're so far removed, all of us, from our identity that we can't even come together because we don't know. I say, as a black man, first and foremost, that our objective should be first, man, know who the hell we are, man. Know who we are. That's our ammunition. That's what we'll be able to load our artillery and our guns with, man, to fire back at people. We knowing exactly who we are. We can identify with where we come from. But that don't just pertain to us as black people, melanated people, also the brown people. I think this is a responsibility we all have because there's a lot of confusion out there. There's a lot of mistrust out there. There's a lot of hate and racism out there that shouldn't be, right? Let's call a duck and a strike, man. This spade is black, what I'm talking about. You can't get around that. Our people are divided based upon the system we've all been subjected to. And the only way I think for any of us to get to where and I'm speaking about the demographics, to get to where we got to be, we have to start working with ourselves first to get to the knowledge and understanding of who we are. And then, and only then, can we say, hey, there's our brothers over there. Because now at the same time, they've done their work. They've done their research. They know where they come from. They know who they are. And you bring that together then to work together. But until then, I think it would be a mistake to try to, force. And you got to look at it like that. A lot of people feel like they're being forced to acknowledge identity in history. A lot of people are very racist, man, as a result of the institutional racism we've all faced. That's a problem. That is a problem that cannot be dealt with or resolved or solved just by coming together, clumping together. It's not going to happen like that. I don't think, you know, it's going to take each and every demographic to get to the point where they get back to where they come from, the roots. This is how we combat and battle those who have everything. And their hope is that that never happens. Their hope is that, okay, we just nilly-willy come together, man. And while we do that, there's so much dissension in the ranks of the people that nothing will get done. Nothing will get done. It's my take on it. But I support that in the sense that, yeah, man, each demographic must get itself together. So it's like this, Sam. Blacks can't help nobody if they can't help themselves first. Latinos cannot help anyone until they're in a position to help themselves first. The red man, the yellow man, even the white man who understand what's going on can't help anyone until they help themselves. And that help requires them coming into this presence of mind, being conscious of what the war is really about, getting your history, your identity, understanding what this shit is really about. Once that happens, then there should be a melding, a coming together. You know, then that melting pot would make sense because the people are at that point, I think, are fighting for one cause, you know, and that's to unseat those who have oppressed all of us, even the white people. They don't even know it, you know. This is what must be done, in my opinion. And you got to know there are whites, Hispanics, Latinos, Mexicans, Native Americans, so-called, man, Asians who know the truth. But it's hard even convincing their own of the truth. And that's the work we have to do first. We can't just say, all right, man, this is how, let's go together. In. Shit's going to fall apart. It will fall apart because somebody will be planted or implanted in that struggle to, you know, unseat those who got all this money. They'll give a man of $10 million. Man, go in there and tear that whole apparatus down. Man, create racism in them ranks, man, because we can, hey, we're going to give you $1 billion. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine the dissension and the destruction of the people coming together just so that they can stay in power? People will sell out quick. This is why we need the people, man, understanding, man, relating to where they come, their identity. And their identity would tell them the historical facts based upon what's been done to each and every one of us. That would give us more cause or more than a reason to band together, because now we know who the enemy is. And we'll be able to see the plants and the moles in our ranks. But that has to be first, man. We can't help anyone until we help ourselves. That's a fact, you know. But I appreciate that, man, because that's some solid shit nonetheless. And together, once we get our shit together, then together, the shit will change. It will change. And them people, they'll be stuck in their underground bunkers. You know, that's where, you know, most of them, you know, end up dying, you know, in them underground bunkers. Because the people will have spoken and say, okay, man, you know, because of your crimes against humanity, you know what I mean? There they go. Yeah, man. Hannibal said, man, ICE got a huge budget. They definitely coming out here. I just saw some. So, you know, ICE is running up in homes now without search warrants. And I'm not talking about illegals. You know, that doesn't matter. When the shit first went down, man, we were here on Under the Groove podcast saying, hey, man, this is what's going to happen. This how messed up it is, man. When ICE first came, man, Border Patrol, ICE, you know, DHS, to get illegals, you know, illegal criminals, whatever. A lot of people actually was for it. And I'll say that, I'll back it up with a lot of the relatives and people who are like those who were targeted voted for Trump, knew what the agenda was. Then you had some of us saying, yeah, you know, a lot of them over here, they fucking up, you know, taking job, whatever the case may be. Let's be 100. All right. Boom. Didn't mind it. Asians too. Everybody. You know, everybody. Now, a lot of us didn't realize that, man, when that shit went down, or when they were done doing whatever it was or they wanted to do to those people, who do you think was going to be next? You think that would have been the end of it? They're going to disband and, you know, all right, y'all, you know, no. This is a fascist state, man. So, you know, that's just one part of, you know, the demographic, so to speak, as a whole, that they were dealing with. But you got to know, man, everybody else is on the list as well, especially Black folk. We got to know this. So we were saying that on this channel. Hey, man, listen, yeah, a lot of us want to say we okay with that, but here's reality. When they're done with them, they're going to come get us. And it's happening. It's happening. So, again, man, I say all that to say this, man. What we see taking place in society, man, it is just not directed at one demographic. It's directed at each and every one of us. And it's done for a reason. And most of us, we haven't gotten to, okay, why is this happening? It's a lot of reasons. This is how they function. You know, it's that old saying, you know, that analogy, 2 birds with 1 stone, except for, you know, it might be 3, 4 birds with 1 stone, you know? So yeah, ICE is here for everybody. ICE is here to protect the super rich. ICE's program, ICE's directive now. See, this is why I say we're not keeping up, y'all. A bill just passed. Well, the Counterterrorism Act of 2026. If you read it, go to page 5. It's telling you that anybody who is against fascism is an extremist and can be not only investigated and or arrested. So anybody who fight against fascism, the Trump administration, or those who run the world, your ass is grass. They're going to lock you up. That's what they're saying. Anybody who is anti-black hat, your ass is grass. And all this is done in the mindset of that movie, Minority Report. They're saying, hey, we're going to preemptively attack crime, do away with crime. So if you support, let's say, a pro-Palestinian organization, a pro-immigration, you know, organization, just the fact that you support them, then they're saying your faults attached to that will eventually bring crime. So therefore, they have a right then to come get you before you commit a crime. Y'all got to do your research, man. That's some real shit. If you're against the police, that's a crime. If you're anti-Israel, that's a crime. If you're pro-Palestinian, that's a crime. If you're pro-BLM, that's a crime. Y'all got to pay, man. This shit is real. It's actually happening. But hey, hey, man. Hannibal say Republicans and Democrats controlled by the AIPAC, y'all. All right. But Democrats are the lesser evil out of the two. No such thing. No such thing. And that's something we have to get around. We have to stop saying that to ourselves. Pick the one. What's the lesser of the two evils? Pick the one that's the lesser of. No, man. They're both evil. You should pick your poison. They're both poison. You get it? And then they come up with these phrases and these words that sound harmless, but they're noxious, man. They will fuck you over. They do the same exact thing as the one you're choosing not to go with. It's the same shit, different sides of the same coin. Hey, pick your poison, man. It's still poison. Pick your evil, man. It's still evil. What do we think the difference is? No, there's no difference. That's the part we got to get beyond. We have to see it for what it is. It's poison. It's toxic. It's evil. Period, point blank. There's no watering it down. There's no diluting it. It is what it is. And when most of us say that phrase, most of us can't even express it. We say it is what it is. In this sense, it is what it is. It's poison. It's toxic. It's deadly. It's depriving the people of human rights or the right to be or to choose. It's just what it is, man. We have to stop doing that to ourselves. We call it what it is, straight up. And again, so Hannibal, I hear you, and I trust. I hear you. I reread it. Republicans and Democrats controlled by the AIPAC, but Democrats are the lesser evil out of the two. We need an independent party. Again, based upon what? The political structure that already exists, the constitution that already exists, a constitution that was written by the rich, that had no interest in terms of really protecting the poor or the marginalized, the minimized, you know what I mean? The slave. When we talk about, or when changes are talked about, and I'm quoting here, changes, when that is talked about, it has to be discussed in such a way to where we understand that everything previous that we knew to be detrimental must cease to exist. And the dawn or the time for something new is now to be created. You know what I mean? To go back and, continue on that which we know brought about all these problems will only continue to bring and present the same problems. If we know capitalism, listen, man, capitalism is designed for you to betray someone just like you, even a family member, for bread, for money. You have to step on someone to become rich. All these billionaires and trust and know, man, none of them got there without cheating or messing over someone, stepping over someone, abusing someone. That's just not how it works. Capitalism does not work like that. Capitalism functions to this day because it functioned on the backs of slaves. That's capitalism. You need somebody to do your work. You need to enslave somebody to become rich. And you pay them, or you don't, right? You pay them minimum wage while you reap in huge benefits, while they continue to suffer, not pay bills, not be able to get over, from living from paycheck to paycheck while you sit high on the hall. Listen, man, when we talking about this type of shit, we have to start acknowledging that there needs to be a change. The whole foundation. And if that's not what people are willing to do, then, hey, man, I can only tell you the truth. Then we're going to be stuck in this. 50 years from now, and 100 years from now, after we're long gone, some of us, 250 years from now, it'll be the same shit if we don't decide to change it, to dismantle the system. What's the system? What is the system based upon? Capitalism. Come on, man. Let's be 100. Let's speak truth to power, man. Part of the problem with dealing or addressing that is a lot of people are in fear of leaving all they know. All they know is to compete with one another, to go work for somebody else. They become dependent upon that. The people didn't go to school to learn to be independent, to be autonomous. That's not what they taught us. They taught us to serve and to work. They taught us to support the system on our backs. Oh man, this ain't rocket science, man. So we have to be true with ourselves. We have to be able to look what the problem is right in the face, and then acknowledge, okay, man, whether or not we want to keep, going or being a part of this system or not. Facts. Facts, man. That's the truth. That's the truth, man. And that power, to make that decision is only in the people. We've been led to believe that others decide for us, and it's okay. That's the way it's supposed to be. That's not the truth. None of us were created for that purpose. None of us. Quinn and Zinga say happy Friday, RGC. For those who don't know, the RGC is the Royal Group Congregation. And that is this congregation of brothers and sisters, man, who think alike. We can agree to disagree. We can be, have a differing opinion, but we remain respectful. All right. We keep it respectful. There's no N words in here, no B words. Man, we're going to talk. We can use the MF, the F word, Hey, when we get that feeling to do that, hey, motherfucker, that ain't it, But hey, man, overall, seriously speaking, it's about respect for self first, and then for our brothers and sisters. All right. It's about love first in self. And we got that for each other. For ourselves, we'll have that for each other. That's what the RGC is about. That's what we should be about, period. Not just on this channel, but period. All right. Henry Sedell say, man, peace and blessings to all. Brother Bub, peace and blessings to you and your family. Right back to you, Henry, man. Peace and prosperity to you and yours. I salute you, bro. See you up in this get down, man. See you up in this get down, man. Ambassador Williams say again, great news. All right, Queen. Here's our Queen sister. Missed you a day or so ago. She said, Grand Rising, Brother Bub. I hope all is well with you and the family. Blessings to you. Peace and love to the queens and kings in the RGC. B1 means black first. This is how we have to deal with what's going on. We have to get our shit together first. And that goes for any demographic. Again, I'll reiterate that. And I say it, man, because it needs to be said. We have to get ourselves together first. That goes for all the demographics. Black, brown, red, yellow, green, purple, white. Get ours together first. That's how that works. When you do that, then you're in a position to do the work with other demographics, provided they did their work as well. Then we know how to come together and attack what needs to be attacked and dismantled. Otherwise, man, hey, I'm telling you, we're leaving that door open for more dissension, more chaos, disagreement, racism, all that shit. So B1, all right? Be the one to get yourself together first. All right, sisters, good to see you up in here. Raymond Skull, man, 102, peace and prosperity, you and the Rays, your family first and foremost, man. Everything is everything, I'm sure, because here you are. Here you are. You say, what's up, Bub, man? Blessings to you and your family. Much respect to the kings and queens of the RGC, the Royal Group Congregation. Good to see you up in here. As always, it's a pleasure. As knowledgeable as you are, with the shit yeah, man. We anytime you're not here, and that go for really all of y'all. We're not at a disadvantage per se, but we're not getting our full get down. You know what I mean? So anytime you brothers and sisters are here, it means something. And we're getting our full get down. So appreciate seeing you, bro. All right, Daniel Rio said, man, they're making all kinds of data centers everywhere. They are springing up everywhere. We had this discussion also about these data centers. See, look, man, those who create an AI, they have an agenda. And they put out this narrative that, it's going to serve mankind. It's going to serve human beings. That's not the truth. It's going to deplete human beings, the human race. That's his main objective. That's his objective. Because those who create AI, they have an issue with the human population to begin with. They already think there are too many on the face of the earth. You guys do your research, man. Most of what they say is documented, man. Especially Peter Thiel, man. Especially Peter Thiel. Ellison, David Ellison, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk. They all have said things that should open our eyes, open our brains, give us a grander understanding of who these individuals are. They are a threat to humanity. Pure and simple. Pure and simple, you know? So we got to get to that part. These data centers are coming up everywhere. We had this conversation about what Trump did in terms of hurting the farms. I say that was intentional, to cut off deals with China, to apply tariffs and shit. That was done to hurt the farmers of America, because a lot of farmers aren't rich like other farmers. A lot of them are struggling. Just, in that sphere, that aspect, right? Their farms, let's compartmentalize it. Their farms, then their communities, and everybody in the community ain't got everything. Some of us are struggling. Same with farms. Some farms are very rich, they get the grants, they get everything they need. Some aren't. And so I thought that Trump intentionally targeted the weaker farms who would succumb under the pressure or the fact that China had moved away and went and bought soybean or whatever else from another country. It put them out of business. The banks understand what's going on. The banks don't keep property. They liquidate it. So AI, this is how these AI, do your research, y'all. These data centers ran by these AI corporations, most of that land, that acreage, were old farms, because they need 400, 500, up to 1,000 acres for these data centers. And some of them, they need to be near water sources and shit like that. They didn't just, come on, man, y'all got to see the big picture, man. So this all is a play, if you ask me. And Trump's greatest supporters, some of his greatest supporters, are those people who are in AI tech, who need data centers to make their companies even larger. So yeah, just give it some thought, give it some research. Daniel Rios says, man, all in Texas, everywhere, the reason why that they have people working for them is because people have to pay their bills. That's the play. We've been led to think that the only way for us to survive as people is to go to work for someone else, to get a check. And if we don't work, we don't eat. We can't pay bills. We can't, what are we going to do? Most of us panic. We say, oh, shit, I won't survive. I'll become homeless. I'll lose everything, Then we have those who have the wherewithal to some extent to have a business, but ask them, what does it take to keep that business running with all these taxes in California? And I'm speaking of California specifically. It takes a lot. They take a lot in taxes from these people. All this is done. It's orchestrated to be this way. Again, a lot of us on the lower end are led to think or believe that, hey, man, without a job, we're nothing. We won't survive. We're going to die. And for the most part, that's almost the truth, because we're so dependent on everything we get from the government and corporations who actually run the government. We can't even get food unless we grow it. A lot of us have been, convinced that, the best place to buy food is from a grocery store rather than grow it in your own yard. Most of us are led to believe, well, not led to believe, it's a fact. The water source is full of chlorine and fluoride, metals, all kind of shit, pollutants, So all of a sudden, man, everybody buys water. We buying water. In due time, we'll be buying air. So yeah, a lot of us think that we have to depend on the government to survive. And we're not understanding that, if we work together, and again, the only way we can do that is if we get ourselves together to the point where we can work together, we can shut all this down. there'll be no more electrical bills. In fact, man, electricity is something we can all create to power our own homes. But that information is swept under the rug. It's buried deep. So they got us believing we need Edison, DWP, to pay the electrical, to have electricity. You know, gas might be another thing. No, you're right, you know, but I'm pretty sure just like electricity, there's a way around that in terms of cooking your food using gas, propane, or whatever that might be, you know. You know, you can probably use solar energy to cook, you know, to heat oil in a frying pan. But we're led to believe we have to depend on them to survive. That's what they got to say. Okay, let me go on. I'll go on to the break it down, man. All right, Antonio, I see you, bro. Love and salute. Right back to you. Henry Cedello, man, says shout out to Joe and Cutes, man. Originals. Yeah, man. I'm glad that brother even mentioned that, because I'm serious as hell. I'm gonna get on that, man. I want to tap in with Joe, man, as well as Cutes, man, and see if we can arrange something, man. This is a new month coming up, and let's see if we can make something happen. That'd be nice. Raku Fu said, man, we must reanalyze the importance of the house ninja and the field ninja, importance to the movement, because Malcolm X had a fuller understanding of both of their importance. For example, he also said it was certain house ninjas. Yeah, you know, I'm having problems with reading that word, and I just talk so highly of the RGC where we don't see that word that much, you know, in here, man. And I'm not one used to using that, but yeah, you know, work with a brother. Anyway, so Malcolm said, man, Malcolm had a fuller understanding of both of their importance. For example, he also said it was certain house individuals that brought food and clothing, medicine, etc., to the majority in the field to help heal the majority of us in the field. And but he also said, Malcolm, that a lot of those who are in the house, they empathize more with Master than they did their brothers and sisters in the field. You know, so I think just on the face of it, it would be it would be, unless, you know, we got, you know, now this reminds me of the spook that's set by the door. How are we able to judge, you know, who we can trust that might, you know, be in the house? You know what I mean? That's something, you know. So yeah, there's that possibility. I'm glad you know, I'm thinking about it. Yeah, that might be of help to us. You know, you never know. I'm gonna leave that one alone. B60M said, man, we've been having to read between the lines when it comes to the news and newspapers because of the spin they put on topics. And that's so true, man. But it's worse now today. You agree? Today, man, is just so much worse. I was reading a piece today on Captain Ibrahim Traore, right? He arrested an imam, the Sunni imam. I think his name was Kindo, Mohammed Kindo in Burkina Faso. Anyway, he arrested the brother because he said the brother basically was trying to create dissension and destabilize all the work they put in, all behind a law that Traore had created that said when Muslims want to pray, do it in the mosque. Don't do it in the streets where you're stopping commerce and traffic, right? It's a big problem. So they'll, you know, no matter what time of the day, they'll line up, you know, on the boulevards and the streets, stop traffic, stop commerce and everything to pray. So Ibrahim passed the bill, said, no, man, that should not be. You know, when you want to pray, hey, man, that, you know, we'll help you we'll provide mosque and everything. You have mosque. You have some of the biggest mosques, you know, in that area in Sahel than anywhere else. And many of them. Why aren't you guys praying in the mosque? Now, this is coming from a Sunni Muslim. Ibrahim Traore is a Sunni Muslim. He practices Islam. That's what he is. But he's saying, and I think in such, you know, a righteous way, come on, y'all, we trying to build a country while y'all are, it's like you're trying to stagnate it. So the consensus is Imam Kendo a puppet? Since France, United States, and the UK can't get in, they're using so-called extremists and jihadists, Muslims, to destabilize the country. And that's a fact. That's a fact. Now he's trying to figure out if this brother, this Imam, is a part of this program. And he tended to think that he is. He arrested him. And he had about 200 followers or whatever. He say, man, this ain't about that. This is about the country first. We just battled these people. We just got our country back from these people. And you mean to tell me y'all want to destabilize the country because we stopped these people from doing it? So they're going to destabilize us, attack us from within, hire y'all to do it? I kind of feel him. And this is what's going on, man. This is what's happening. I'm reading this article. I couldn't believe that shit. Then again, I had to check myself. Hey, that's the field in the house. Cold part about it, Ibrahim Traore was at one time considered, or could have been considered, a house. But he was the spook that actually sat by the door. And now you got, man, this shit is crazy. But it ain't just here, it's all over the world, man, when we see people struggling to shake shake the shackles of colonialism and slavery from around their necks and the waist, their ankles and shit, but then there are those who, for whatever reason, want to see us in such a position where we're not free. And even if that's the case, well, even if, let's say, the Imam Kendo is not a party to what France is trying to do in terms of destabilizing not just Burkina Faso, but Mali as well as Niger, then what is he trying to do? Is he trying to establish a caliphate? Is that what he's trying to do in a secular country where no one is, discriminated against? Hey, you want to be Muslim, you want to practice Islam, so be it. There's no laws against that. You want to be Christian, so be it. You want to be the Judean, you want to practice Judaism, so be it. Secular, they're not tripping like that. But then here this dude come, and now so the thought is one or the other. You either working for them to keep this country destabilized, or you're trying to destabilize the country so that you can establish a caliphate. And that's fucked up, because then that would mean you're going to want to run everybody. You ain't no different than the colonizer. And in most cases, they aren't. They aren't. They the same thing, They want to control people and determine and dictate how people should be. That's not cool, But yeah, so, just reading between the lines, this is what's going on over there. And I was like, golly, man, how is this possible? Knowing what we know, going through what we're going through, and our brothers and sisters we're still combating each other. We're still trying to, see to it that we don't succeed. The people are never first. It's always some individual or religion first. And I think that's fucked up, But hey, that's just my opinion. B6 said, man, we've been having to read between the lines when it comes to the news and newspapers because of spin they put on topics. Lisa Moore said, B1 Black first. Okay. Rakufu said, man, look, so let's be scientific and look at this stuff in the broader lens of total revolution. Thank you. I said we're going to code, and I was doing circular, yeah. But anyway, yeah, thank you. JCSR, Lazy Low said, man, facts, man. Those that are typically don't associate with those that aren't. Speak that truth. It's systematically about your credit score and bankroll. You are speaking realness. That's the system, though. That is the system, bro. And appreciate you jumping up in here, Lazy man. It's about that, man. Let's keep it 100. And if you ain't on that, then you ain't shit. You don't get shit, you ain't shit. You ain't about shit. If you're not about capitalism and keeping this system up and running, that's just, some real shit, man. That's the way this shit is designed. And I'm telling you, that's detrimental. It's not a fair system. They tell you it's fair. Oh, man, anybody can be rich. No, anybody cannot. Anybody cannot. If that was the case, everybody would be, Oh, man. Rakufu said, man, the art of war is very complex with each army, both having double agents, camouflage, acting out roles that may not be their true faces, but spying to help their people. I'm not contesting none of that, bro. I get it. Again, I said spook that's set by the door. Prime example, great example, right? But what I'm saying is, even, I want to say, man, even when we have those who amongst the house or whatever, and they would do something that's atrocious or just, in line with what's already being done to us, many of us would say, yeah, see, there you go. That's one of them, Now, the chances are that it could probably be that person has to act that way, man, to get the burden or the onus off him. That is he really one of us? I get that part, But here's the thing. When it comes to that, how long do they stay in that corruptness? How long do they how long? Most of those who have been a part of it was in that, they have a plan that doesn't go 20 years, 30 years. You know what I mean? I don't think there's any of them in there now who have a plan. Any of them in there now that we can actually trust. I'm just saying, I don't think so. Most of those who we know to be there, been there for decades. And I'm not just talking politics. I'm not just talking politics. I'm talking about so-called leaders, entertainers, athletes, man, even motherfuckers in our communities. I'm just saying, give it some thought. But I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying, bro. Okay, Polk said, man, top of the evening to the UTG. Just got in for a minute, man. I hear you, bub. 100, 100, 100. And of course, salute to the RGC, the Royal Group Congregation B1, Black First. Appreciate good seeing you up in here, man, Polk. May your day been everything, man, you set out for it to be, man. All right. Continue to focus on the focus, bro. A real sister in the house, y'all. She say, shalom, family. I pray all is well. There you go. And, reciprocate that, that sentiment. May everything be everything for you and yours. All right. On that end, sister. Good to see you up in here. Lisa Morris says, brother Bub, my birthday was on the 19th. I've been celebrating for a whole week. Now just enjoy myself. Okay, I'm back on schedule now. LOL. I ain't mad at you. I got one coming up, and I'm like you. Shit, y'all might not see me for a week. Y'all may not see me for a week. I don't do much, you know what I mean? But shit, still, I mean, hey, shit, hey, more power to you, sister. And happy belated birthday, by the way. All right. And, may you have had a great time, Queen. Real spit. All right, Fat Rat, see you up in here, loved one. You say peace to you and the RGC, Big Bug. Right back to you, Fat Rat, to you and the loved ones, man, that way. Good to have you here, bro. B6 say, congratulations on another time around the sun, Lisa Moore. Real spit. Fat Rat say, Bub. Basically, Bub, you tripping, man. You slipping or you tripping? We already buy air. Clean Air Act. Yeah, tax for that shit. No doubt, bro. No doubt. And that's not even subtle. Yeah, real shit, bro. Appreciate that, Fat Rat. Real shit. Yeah. I don't know how that slipped, but it sure in the hell did. We sure in the hell do. We pay for everything, man. Anything that's could be labeled as a sustenance for our survival, we paying for. Damn. Damn. They already got us. You know, my mind's working now. Okay, what's next? We're paying for air, the Clean Air Act. What's next? Because we pay for our lives, I think. If you just put all this shit together, we're paying to live. What's next? And see, we can get ahead of the 8-ball, the bell curve right there, man. What's next? That's deep, man. Appreciate that, Fat Rat. That's what I say. Yeah, man, them gems and jewels are dropped all day, every day on this Get Down, y'all. And we got some new people in the house, and I send that shout out again to you individuals who are here for your first time. This is Under the Groove Podcast. Appreciate your presence and your participation, man. That is truly, truly appreciated. We do this from Monday to Friday, 6:15 to 8:15, man. Just again, your presence here means a lot to not just me, but everyone else in this Get Down. So, hey, come on in and let it do what it do. All right, Hulan, the survivor in the house. He say, wow, tapping in, perfect timing. Salute, bub. Just checked out, just clocked out, grabbed some Church's Chicken in Oak Park, Sacramento. Almost reminded me of Western in Manchester, LA. They closed that thing down too, man. They closed it down. Most of the Church's Chickens, I think, in LA are being closed down. But you see, I think you're starting to see more and more, what are they, Popeyes or something like that, you know? I don't eat chicken, but, you know, yeah. They closed that one. That thing had been there, man. Check this out, Hulan. I'm going to tell you how long that Church's was over there on Vermont in Florence, man. The one on Vermont and Florence, anyway. Hey, man, that thing was there since, you know, I ain't lying, man. Maybe since like 73, 74. I remember, man, you know, growing up back in the day, they got the big ass box of chicken, like 24 pieces. And that shit was like maybe $9, $10. And that fed motherfuckers, you dig? You with the rolls and shit, and the mashed potatoes and shit, you know what I mean? They even had the corn on the cob. This back in the day, I promise you, man, we ate chicken down there every day of the week. Then my oldest brother ended up getting a job at that motherfucker. So we was chickened out the game, bro, but we was eating and we weren't paying no attention to it. Another thing, man, back then, that chicken was different. It was different, you know? I'm sure all y'all who know what I mean, you know? It was different back then. But yeah, man, shit, we eating Church's Chicken. Church's Chicken, beans and rice, man. Like it wasn't nothing. Like wasn't nobody been there. You know, yeah, that thing over there though on Vermont, Florence just closed down. Western and Manchester is I think Louisiana. I think that's Louisiana. Yeah, man. Yeah. Pope, man. I'm trying to get Hoover Joe and Cutes on the Get Down, man. Fire, a must see. Rakufu said, man, he did say that each one had one. He did say that, but each one of them need to be individual. Okay, got you. True that. All right. And Lisa Moore sending her thanks to the King B60, man, and everybody else who send them happy belated birthday wishes. And she said she had a good time, y'all. You can tell because she wasn't here for a few days. That means she's doing a thizzle. Got it in. There you go. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Here you are. So it's a good look. All right. Hey, Maury, man. Maury Johnson back in. He said, God bless, man. Salute from Texas. Salute right back to Texas. We send ours, man, to the fullest, to the brothers and sisters down there in the Lone Star State, man. Need more of you brothers and sisters, you kings and queens out of Texas tapping in. Real spit, man. That would be a beautiful look. Because everything near Texas gonna pretty much follow what Texas do. Oklahoma come jump on in this thing, man. New Mexico, you know what I mean? Louisiana, you know, hey. But good to have Texas in here, Maury, man. Appreciate you, bro. Represent. All right. Rakufu did say, or he did say that, but each one of them need to be individually judged of their character. No doubt, bro. Remember the one in the field got brother Fred Hampton killed. Yeah. And we were speaking on that. We were saying just a minute ago how, just based on what's going on in the world, man, these tech giants, these billionaires, right? And how they're manipulating the government. They really they make the laws. They run the government. Let's be 100. If things got so to where they were being dismantled and they saw that the toppling of their empires were about to happen, in no shape, way, or form would they hesitate to say, hey, I got $1 million, I got $10 million to start selling mugs out. And believe you me, some of our best may fall to that, may fall because of that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, some of our fields, man, ain't no better than some of our houses. You know what I mean? I hear you, bro. I hear you. Trust that. Maury going to say, man, sad but true, Big Bub, man, from Lil Bub, Big Bro is crazy. And that's what it is, man. All right, I got some clips, man. This thing in the field. Okay, hold on. I got enough time. I got some clips. I just want to share this, man. Rakufu said, my point is, we black people didn't have a choice where we worked in slavery. The house or the field was assigned by them, but your individual morals were self-forgiven. All right. Yeah. Hulan, the survivor, said jealousy and envy resides in the hearts of the small-minded. That's where it lives. It nourishes and grows. Fat Rat said, man, most religious zealotry is blind to secular ordinances, bro. One of our brothers just came back from BF. They're not ready to receive us yet. All right. Hulan, the survivor, said, man, according to the code book, we've already been captured. Shit, hook, line, and sinker. Bub, I got a movie for you, Crime 101. Oh, shit, and speaking of that, man, I got a list of movies. So you got Crime 101. I need to see if I can get this paper right quick. I got 17 movies. And again, these are movies, they all relative. They all connect. But yeah, I got you. Crime 101. I know the wife heard that, or she's probably watching, so she got that. So, okay, I'll try that out. Hope it's good, bro. The weekend. I mean, I don't know. I got to go to bed early tonight. I got to get up quite early. Maybe I can get it in and not fall asleep on it, man. But I'm going to check it out. Rakufu say, Bub, remember Right Ons on 75th and Vermont burned down in the riot? Right On Burgers, man. The Asians had that spot right there. I used to ditch in there. I used to ditch school in there, man. I've done some things over there, man. Me calling myself poor, not really understanding some shit. I did some shit, in terms of getting money right there, man. That I regret thinking back on, man. But Right On Burgers, it was a mainstay, man. It was it was a spot that been around for a very long time. And another thing about Right On Burgers and those who ran it, they would feed us. They knew we were poor, And back then they used to do them big ass buckets of fries, them big thick potatoes, man, right? Hook up a couple of them and bring them out to us, We never trashed the place or nothing. We trying to be still and quiet, and there, police see you, and they coming up in there and take your Operation Stand School. So we always kept it real. We didn't hang out or nothing like that, But they looked out for us, I have to admit that. Right On Burgers was a mainstay on the set, man. That ain't no doubt, man. I'm surprised you remembered it, When the riots happened, I said, it ain't black owned. So they burned it down. Yeah. I remember Right On Burgers, no doubt. All right, Soldier Denise. All right, here's one of our queen mothers up in the house. Y'all say peace to you, brother Bub. Peace to the queens and kings of the RGC. Lisa Moore. Happy Lisa Moore, Fire Trade, happy or belated happy birthday, Queen. There you go. Good to see you up in here, soldier. Raku Fu said, man, remember before the black family sold their business, Louisiana fried chicken, to the Asians, the chicken tastes more peppery and garlic. True that. Louisiana, man. Yep. It's funny, man, that we're talking about this, man, because I can recall back. I remember, man, when there were black businesses all up and down that community, man. I remember also when the shit changed, and I remember why and how, and it's sad to see that, man, our shit it wasn't taken from us. It was stripped from us, They did a lot of things, man, to manipulate, how businesses ran, certain taxes and laws. They stripped us of our shit, man. I remember that shit. Yeah. Crazy you mentioned that, man. He said, all right, Hulan said Texas, man, well respected. Yep. And Lisa Moore send that shot right back to you, Soldier Denise. Peace and blessings to you, Queen. All right, let me drop this right quick, man. Cause I love when we do what we do. Oh man, you talk about Mr. Jim's, man. Rakufa talk about Bub, who used to say it takes no teeth to eat my beef. That was Mr. Jim's, man. And then right there, also by Mr. Jim's was I think it was Jim Dandy's Chicken or Golden Bird or both. And it's back in the day, bro. Yeah. Mr. Jim's Barbecue. Come on, man, quit playing. Pioneer Chicken was the shit. In fact, thank you, Henry. Pioneer was probably there before churches back in the day. Vermont and Florence. Yeah, man. Damn. All right, let me drop this, man. Y'all killing me, man. It's a good day. All right, hold on. Let me drop this. Good day. Now listen to this, young brother. And I'm telling y'all, these young brothers, man, ain't sleep like we think they is. All right, let me drop this in here. Hold on. Get a bar of this. I don't know what the time looking like. Oh, shit. We running out of time, but that's okay.
The CEO of BlackRock came out and said that American citizens will be forced to fund the data centers across America. Say he don't give a fuck if it come from your savings or your retirement funds. Your ass gonna pay. Americans that question AI data centers is now getting treated like terrorists under a new law category called anti-tech extremism.
That's part of that new law I was telling you guys about. It's in the Counterterrorism Act, where, again, not just if you're anti-Israel and pro-Palestinian, if you're anti-fascist, if you're pro-BLM, if you're anti-tech AI.
Nigga, what the fuck? Due to all these motherfucking data centers, the Rio Grande River is completely dry. Big Tech declared more chemtrails to alter weather patterns in order to save the AI data centers. Bill Gates came out and said, hey, we no longer need humans in the AI era. We decide who lives and who dies. Oh, wow. Shitty booty ass Donnie went to sleep at a Memorial Day event. Y'all remember he kept on talking about Sleepy Joe? Shit, his ass sleepy Donnie, shitty boot ass Donnie, stinking feet ass Donnie. That boy about to be 80 years old, one of the oldest presidents in the United States history. Get his ass up out of here. With all this shit going on with these data centers and motherfuckers running out of water, and motherfuckers not realizing that all this AI technology is successful on finna ruin the motherfucking lives of so many humans. AI will end the human lifespan as we know it today. I'm talking about that's why they making shit to where you can transfer your consciousness into AI robots. If y'all no longer need humans, why the fuck did y'all build 8 billion robots? Y'all need all of these data centers. Nobody voted, warned you a shit about none of these data centers. All of the millionaires and billionaires linking up and investing in that shit and don't give a fuck how it affect your life. If y'all think that shit crazy, they been talking about in a mere couple years, motherfuckers finna have to start praying for Earth. If you know like I know, these people don't give a fuck about you, G. Never did, never will. That's the reason why it's always us against them. So as you look around, you think it's gonna be better days? It ain't. it's just gonna get worse and worse. Because unfortunately, the grid that they locking us in is ran by demonic motherfuckers, and ain't nobody doing shit about it. So,
all right. And that's from one of the young ones, man. I ain't got to say no more, man. Shit, he just said a mouthful. But the one thing I want to say, they are talking about taking individuals' consciousness and putting it in, I don't know what they're going to put it in, a robot, right? AI. But it reminded me of the animation cartoon Futurama, where they got all the old heads, Nixon, anybody you could think of, in history that's gone now, right? But their consciousness is in their heads, in those in the jars with the formaldehyde or the water or whatever, and they're still talking. They take them and screw them on the body of a robot, and they walk around. They become president again, all kind of weird shit. That's it sounds far-fetched, man, but that's the shit they're talking about. Taking your consciousness and putting it in the robot. I don't know, man. I don't know. This shit is getting crazier by the day, bro. And like he said, it ain't gonna get no better. It's just not. Even for those who got something, they in trouble. They in just as much trouble as the rest of us. All right, Maury Johnson say, man, big bro, have you ever talked to the brothers from Oklahoma or Louisiana? I did a long time, locked up. I had them and Texas. We all chilled as one big bro, and it was everyone as one. Yeah, I hollered at the brothers in Oklahoma, man, just recently. Matter of fact, we're talking about going down there for the Black Wall Street celebration. I think that's next month. It's Juneteenth. So, and I have family down there nonetheless. Anyway, so we're talking about going down and hang out in Oklahoma, man. And telling who I run into, man. But that's something I'm trying to make sure with the wife is something we're gonna do. I would love to do that and air, you know what I mean? Do my lives down there, do content down there, man, with them brothers, and them brothers, from what I understand, they on a different get down, man. They trying to figure it out as well. That's not to say a lot of them ain't knuckleheads like we have here, but I tend to associate with brothers who about the business, man, ain't with no shenanigans, So yeah, that would be a good look, man, to see if that comes to be. That would be a good look. Rakufu said, man, they still have a Pioneer's Chicken on Garfield and Florence. Wow, that got to be old as hell. I thought Pioneer Chickens been ran out of business. Yeah, Garfield and Florence in the city of Bell, Pioneer Chicken still there. Hulan said, me and my homie Junebug would help home old ladies with the groceries at Boyd's Market, just to try and earn enough money for one piece of chicken. 1982. Damn, y'all were doing that 82, man. In the 70s, man, we used to do that shit. We used to go to Ralph's, as kids, because back then you couldn't get they didn't want the baskets like out of the front of the store, so they had them poles up there, and people had to take their basket and leave it there, dry their car up or whatever, women and shit. So we would carry the bags to their cars for them, get quarters, dollars, or whatever. We used to pump people's gas for them back in the day, right there on Florence and Bonzella, at Taco Pete, you know what I mean? So we do the same shit, same hustle. Boyd's Market in Inglewood, man. Great clip, man. The demons will deal with it. All right, I got one more, man. Let's see what our time look like. Yeah, I got more than time for one more. Let's do another one, man, because I'm telling you, that little brother was spitting. With all that junk in his mouth, he's still getting it in. But he made a lot of sense to me. Okay, what's the one is this? Okay. Oh, yeah. Now, this is crazy. You want to see this one. And now, I need to ask y'all for real. This got to be some, what they call that, AI shit. Or because I can't really say what our full powers are or to what capacity we can do some extra phenomenal shit, you know what I mean? Or if we're really superheroes, you know, do we have that, you know, that God gene like that to where we can walk on water, you know what I mean? So bear with me with this one, man. I just found it interesting. Check this out.
We waking up, people. Look at this. The CIA just released a document on the black web. We are rising. Look at her running on water. Don't that look like a certain story? Look at that. Oh, they trying to catch you. Can't catch her. We waking up, people. Look at this. The CIA just released a document on the black web. We are rising. Look at her running on water. Don't that look like a certain story? Look at that.
Yeah, that's AI. I'm gonna tell you that right now, because that lead boat got dudes on the boat. They not.
Oh, they trying to catch you. Can't catch her.
What the hell?
We waking up, people. Look at
man, right here. Them dudes, they not even looking at her. In that first boat right there in the front, like 3 dudes are there, and I would be looking at her. They not even looking at her. So I know that's AI. Get the fuck out of here, man. Up found us one trying to hoodwink the people. Get out of here, man. That bullshit. He ought to be ashamed of himself. I would go in the comments and say, man, sucker. All right, I'm gonna leave him alone. I got another one though. What's this one? Okay. Oh shit, what happened? Fuck. Excuse my language, y'all. Damn it. That's what happened the other day. I hit the delete button. Yeah, man. I ain't even sure what this dude talking about. I don't want to see that. Yeah, I remember that. Okay. "43 years. Oh man, Malcolm going in. All right. She said she been raped and homeless. I don't want to watch that. All right, I go, man, I get stuck sometime. Let's do this one. All right. I think I done that one. Damn, what happened to my shit? I ain't trying to see that shit. I'm finding this one interesting. Let's drop this. I don't know what he gonna talk about, but I'm gonna drop this one. I didn't get to check this one out. Hold on.
17 inches of snow ass shit, man. We taking that shit and we pushing that shit right back into our ass, nigga. I hope y'all do know that if black people wake up consciously and have it on our mind, like, damn, I want the sun. I am the sun. Mother, can you send me the sun? Can you heat it back up with the sun? And the mother will gift us the sun. But nah, y'all running around here scared, running in the stores, buying everything. Oh, it's gonna get cold. Oh, I need to be snowed in. All this shit. You inviting the snow, dummy, when you are the sun. Man, fuck all that cold ass shit. 16, 17 inches of snow ass shit. Man, we taking that shit and we pushing that shit right back into our ass, nigga. I hope y'all do know that if black people wake up consciously and have it on our mind, like, damn, I want the sun. I am the sun. Mother, can you send me the sun? Can you heat it back up with the sun? And the mother will gift us the sun. But nah, y'all running around here scared, running in the stores, buying everything. Oh, it's gonna get cold. Oh, I need to be snowed in. All this shit. You inviting the snow, dummy, when you are the sun.
Man, I heard that. All right. I heard that. So that one with the sister running on the water, that's AI, man. Ain't no doubt about that. You ain't finna con me like that, man. Yeah, I'm a little more observant than that. You know, that was some real stupid shit. Yeah, it was AI, man. And we said, man, I can imagine that youngster has a bunch of AI videos. Man, real spit. What we got? All right. Yeah, I don't know, man. But what I do realize is a lot of what we see and hear from a lot of our queens and kings, man, it's some I think some conscious shit, some shit worth giving time to and research, understanding, you know what I mean? Because I don't think everything is some quack shit, you know what I mean, or some AI generated shit, you know what I'm saying? Most of what I try to, indulge in, I want it to be something that connects with me. Then I not only that, but I can go and check it out. I can, do as much research on it as I can. So I don't got a problem with it. What I did notice about the last clip I showed, that brother had that copper hooked up. He had that copper hooked up, man. He had that electric rod, man, that electrical rod, man. He hooked it up. He had the man. He had that thing hooked up. And I'm looking at it. I said, I need to give me one of them. I need to have me one of them, man. Yeah. And connect to the electricity, man. That's some cold shit, man. Yeah, I don't know, man. A whole lot of crazy shit. Let me go find something. I already know this gonna be all bad. I ain't gonna show it. Now, I'm gonna drop this. Look at this. Soldier Denise, I'm glad you in here. You and Lisa, man, and Queen and Zinga. Soldier says right quick, it is what it is. Clearly, this young man is well informed. When he speaks of transferring of consciousness, I'm reminded of the teachings of Thoth the Egyptian. All right. Now look at this. Check this out right here. It says the image of black women. Man, man. Hold on. I'm sorry, y'all.
To this. Now, are there groups of women who wear lace fronts and lashes? Yes. Are there groups of women who carry themselves in, a less admirable way?
They're saying this is the narrative being pushed about our queens.
Yes. But to generalize all black women and say that there's not a narrative and an agenda being pushed, So this is the current depiction of black women that's being pushed out there into the world. I seen this post recently on Instagram of this depiction of supposedly the current state of black women.
Wow.
We are the we are the Section 8 house, low income, loud, boisterous, low class, ratchet, ghetto, ignorant, lace front, big lash wearing, lack of self-respect, and undignified women of the world. And this image is being pushed out there and generalizing all black women into this. Now, are there groups of women who wear lace fronts and lashes? Yes. Are there groups of women who carry themselves in, a less admirable way? Yes. But to generalize all black women and say that there's not a narrative and an agenda being pushed, So this is the current depiction of black women that's being pushed out.
That's enough.
Will let the 16-year-old charged with sexually assaulting and killing his stepsister while on a cruise stay out of jail.
Are geologically active.
Wait, he's
fruits that could save.
Have 4% Neanderthal DNA, and they're only 96% human.
take over our country. Congress quietly moves to integrate U.S. and Israeli militaries. To put it bluntly, they want our military to be theirs, okay? The 2027 National Defense Authorization Act would, quote, all but fuse the two countries' armed forces together. And that is
Martin Luther King can continue to teach the Negroes to be defenseless. That's what you mean by nonviolence. Be defenseless. Be defenseless in the face of one of the most cruel beasts that has ever taken the people into captivity. That's this American white man.
Not integration. And we believe that you're a fool to try and mix with someone who doesn't love you. That doesn't mean that we in any way condone what those crackers are doing in Birmingham, Alabama. Our people should know that whenever you try and force yourself upon someone that vicious, he's going to go to extreme to show you that he's actually the dog that he is. Because it's the two-legged dog that controls the four-legged dog. And it is no accident that as long as the dogs were biting Negro women, Negro babies, and Negro children, Kennedy said nothing. It was only after the Negroes began to strike back. It was then that Kennedy called in the army. So don't you be fooled by Kennedy. Don't you be fooled by these Uncle Tom Negro preachers. When the dog attacks you, you get that dog, two-legged dog, or four-legged dog.
This philosophy. The white man pays Reverend Martin Luther King, subsidizes Reverend Martin Luther King, so that Reverend Martin Luther King can continue to teach the Negroes to be defenseless. That's what you mean by nonviolence. Be defenseless. Be defenseless.
Never read the signs when it comes to an ass whooping that's coming our way. Any nigga willing to fight you while dressed like a monk for Nicki Minaj means that he's done it before and he was successful. Thought shit was sweet because he was dressed like Doran the Explorer. Now look at you, getting punished.
It seems like it's the
I've done jobs that I had to drive 2.5 hours away for.
Shocking news. A 42-year-old mechanic escaped from a hospital in the northern United States in a state of panic, shouting, "They want to take my organs." At first, police believed he was delirious after a minor accident, but 2 hours later, a raid changed everything. The man, Mark Delcourt, was admitted for a minor injury, but his file had been altered to irrecoverable, and he was moved to a technical/maintenance wing. The doors were locked. The cameras were turned away. Mark heard two people whispering, "No family, we start tonight." In panic, he ripped out his IV, crawled into a ventilation duct, and escaped. Police thought he was still panicking, but Mark insisted there are more people alive in there. At 0047, a special tactical unit raided the basement. They found 4 patients strapped down, one lying on a table next to a tray of surgical tools stained with dried blood. Behind a false wall, they discovered a secret room containing 6 unregistered medical refrigerators and 28 files marked with a red X. The American public is in shock. A hospital, supposedly the safest place, suddenly appears to be the most dangerous for patients without family by their side. Shocking news.
Well, hell, where the doctors and the ones who run the hospitals, though?
Last week, I was just talking about this shit last week. Keep your shit off.
I don't
Hey,
know.
boy. Y'all just wait till somebody ain't.
I don't know about that. All right, y'all. I gotta get ready to cut, man. That last one was some crazy shit. I don't doubt it though for a minute that hospitals are doing that. I don't doubt it for a minute. My wife and I, we talk about this all the time. You know, we not donating nothing, so therefore, you know. But what are you gonna do? You know what I mean? I'm surprised they do a raid, but they don't show the director of the hospital in handcuffs, or, you know, no doubt this shit is going on. No doubt. People come in homeless with nobody to defend or speak up for them. Yeah, that's how they may end up. And they ain't even sick. You know, they might come in for a routine checkup, and before you know it, they dead. I don't trust them, man. Not a bit, man. Not one bit. Not one damn bit. All right, man. He said, big bro, Murray Johnson said, big bro, I'm looking up at the sky outside, telling OG Sam and OG Lil Rank, my G's, I got Big Bub on the chat. Y'all a blessing, big bro. All right, man. Hey, man, send our love and respect, man. Rest in peace to the loved ones, all right? And Soldier sends one back. You delete some more, man. You sharing some, okay. Hulan said, man, I'm currently working with an amazing black woman. She's from South Central too. Grew up on 90th and Main. She may be the main reason I keep showing up. Well, we want to thank her, man, for having you keep coming back here, man. And you need to bring her in there and hopefully, you know, get her involved as well. You know, she might be the main reason I keep showing up. That's a good look, bro. Yeah. Give her props, man. Respect her, man, for that, man. We love and respect her for bringing you here, you know? Now you do the same. Pay it forward. Bring somebody, man. Just one, you know? Take care of the Hulan, man. Stay strong, man. And hey, keep that sister. It's a good person. It's a good person. James say facts, Malcolm X. Just like four-legged mutt Obama. A real sister said facts, 100 facts, Malcolm. Yeah, a lot of us agree with that. And that's another thing about us, man, with our people. We tend to know. I read a long time ago about MLK, man, and the Great Picnic is what they called it, actually. That march on Washington and all that. That wasn't supposed to be that, you know, but it got watered down. Him and Abernathy agreed to water it down, let the black hat people come and others, you know, you know. Yeah, man, we all kind of shit, man, we're going through, man, but we're going to get it together. Soldier said, man, you're sharing some heat tonight, bub. That man holding that copper ankh in his hand dropped jewels. We indeed have natural ability to control the elements. I bear witness. Yeah, I always find that interesting. I got another one actually about that copper, and especially why it's important to us. And not only that, but our connection to nature. So I'll drop that Monday, man. And I found it very insightful, very enlightening. It was some shit I learned I didn't know. So I'm you know, maybe when I get back Sunday, I'm gonna get me some copper and I'm gonna start experimenting. I want to see, you know. I want to see in terms of my water, everything, you know, what I eat with, my utensils. I want to try that. My plants, you know, I want to try that. I want to see. Yeah. Real spit. Appreciate that, soldier. All right, Henry, I see you, Fat Rat. Said not only that, but get organ donor off your license. Yeah, we've already, we covered all the bases. Okay, they cold with it, bro. And then being that we as melanated people have to be mindful of this shit, man. You know, when those people, you know, when white people need donors, they won't tell everybody, but they look for our organs first. They want our organs, you know? So yeah, man, you got to check everything, your license and everything, to make sure you don't have donor on that. When you're going in the hospital, you want to check your records, your files, and make sure that you know, because they'll play games. We caught them trying to do that with my wife, to do not resuscitate. We're like, what the fuck? You know, what the fuck? You know, how is that even on here? You know? So yeah, we have to be mindful, man. Grand Ruckus say, man, we went from Malcolm X to Charleston White. And a whole lot of other clowns, you know, a whole lot of others. Charleston just one of many, man. Have you looked at social media today? Wow. James say, yeah, bub, don't you trip, man. Yeah, bub, don't you trip how people, our people included, will sit there with a straight face and act like one president was better than another. They all a bunch of chihuahuas and fuck the president. Hey, we had that conversation. Like I said, man, when we're talking about picking the lesser of two evils, again, you know, or pick your poison, you know, we're still talking about choosing evil. And the evil is evil. There can't be such a thing as lesser evils. Yeah, I get it. I understand the semantics, but no, evil is evil. You know, and they're like, you know, you can't, you either got grace or you don't have any. You can't have, oh, we got a little grace. No, that don't work like that, man. You either have grace, you don't. You know, you either have dignity or you don't. You can't, oh, we got a little dignity. How does that work? How does that work? You know? So there's no such thing as, hey, man, you know, the lesser of two evils. They're both evil. They're both evil. And they say, hey, man, well, pick your poison. Which poison you want? They're both poison. So when we're talking about presidents and politicians, they're all the same. They're all the same, man. There's no difference between them. There's just not. One might do something that would seem like, oh, that person has integrity or principles. But man, we just ain't seen the other shit they did that's behind them or locked in that room. Right? You know? There, you know, that's the reality, man. You know, there's no such thing as lesser evil is evil, bro. Poison is poison. You know? Straight up. Lisa Moore says, happy birthday to brother Malcolm X. Black women is ghetto, as they say. We are why they are trying to imitate us. We're not the ones out there trying to get BBLs and breast implants. That's true. But what do you say in terms of the demeanor or the character of a lot of our sisters? You know, and I'm asking you that, Lisa, as well as you, Queen Nzinga, and Soldier Denise. What do you guys have to say, as well as you, a real sister? I see you in there. What do you have to say in regards to that? You know, the premise, I mean, not the premise, but what was being shared is something we all can shake our heads to, like, yeah. You know, whether, you know, and we've all seen sisters with BBLs, breast implants, and lip augmentation. For what reason, I don't know. Maybe sisters didn't have enough butt. Breasts weren't too big or the lips were too thin, but they've done it. You know what I mean? Now, aside from that, when we're talking about character, personality, you know, that type of thing, we can all say, yeah, you know, sisters now, I mean, I don't know, man. I'm not in the habit of discussing that, but it just in terms of, you know, what was being said, is there any truth to that? Is that the case? Is that what we see more often than not? That type of behavior, you know? Is that what we see? You know, that's the question. Murray Johnson said, man, I got family in California, a few Hoovers, some 3 years. Yeah. Some thirds, I guess, and the rest, Westside Piru, Murchison, Johnson, Jones, cool. All right, bro. Shouts out to your fam too, man. So Janice said, man, I got a mother whose son was found rolled up in a gym mat with no organs. Google Kendrick Johnson. Was that the brother in the high school, the young brother? I don't know if that's the same guy. He was a young brother, you know, a high school student, finally rolled up in a mat, dead as a doorknob. I don't know if he had organs or not. I don't know. Google Kendrick Johnson, though. Okay, sounds like him. A real sister says, it's funny how our young brothers die when they get to the hospital. I believe that happens because they steal their organs. I'm just saying I agree. I'm just saying that it could be a case of murder from the time they're picked up from where they're injured to the time they get to the hospital. I'm just saying, you know, real spit. I agree. We are a commodity, y'all. In fact, let's say it like this. We are a resource. We are a resource as much as we are a commodity. You know, it ain't just about, you know, doing offers, you know, enlivening us and getting, no, we are still a resource. So in that respect, they want to, you know, see what can be siphoned, taken from us before they discard the carcass. We are a resource. We are a commodity. We are worth more than we know. We're worth more than gold. We don't even know it. Real spit. All right, everybody. Hey, peace and prosperity to each and every one of you. This is Friday night, all right? For any of you thinking about, hey, it's time to get it in, all right? Moderation. Think about moderation, all right? Just think about moderation. Love yourself enough to think about moderation, all right? Love yourself, man, and love those who are around you, who are part of you, who you come into contact with. Show them that love. Take care of yourself. That's where that moderation comes in at, though, for sure, for sure. Take care of yourselves. When you do that right, you'll be able to take care of that sister, brother that's with you that might not understand why moderation is needed. So we are our brother and our sister's keepers sometime, all right? Love yourself so you can love each other. Take care of yourselves so you can take care of one another. That being said, power is in the people. Power is in the people. Stay focused on the focus, loved ones. Enjoy Saturday and Sunday. Be all you can be. Peace.
Count the names, count the bodies, count the victory. Cullen Hughes, Hurston writing future history. From the Apollo to the Borough to the Sphere, where the echo of those Harlem nights still ringing clear. So when they ask what happened in those tenement flats, between the spirituals and where consciousness is at, tell them we transformed suffering to scholarship and song. Tell them we've been telling you we're brilliant all along. The Renaissance will prologue every decade since the sequel. Every black child born's continuation of the people who survived the Middle Passage, survived the Jim Crow laws, and built magnificence from nothing but their vision and their flaws. That's in the sergeant. This is once a less than Panthers, Hatters, and Mercedes. Please don't you, I can't stop us. Power sensitive, watch you, the applause for polls. Need your data, tropes, and constant any problem when the wet just wanna build the season bait. Now don't get the pause. It's just erasing up the cons. Plead the markets off the main. Make it honor fans, turn and neck and love the durn. Suffer like the kesha. You went from the preaching up on side as each alone, bitch on the shit and untrue seeing vets. Someone the very inch on Gary Land. Be hell in heaven, you see what the Bonavin. It waits up for the moderate to keep him full the trumpets on the boards to the singer land is carried open slowly. Keep us looking on my mother, break your channel, resi for the he and let the peasant be. It's every time we keep a spawn.